All
Great.
hail and hearty.
That's good. Where are you from?
Basically, I'm from Delhi, but at the moment I'm connecting you from Haryana, NCR. It is NCR.
NCR. Okay. Is this, but this is not Delhi NCR. Is it Delhi NCR?
Delhi NCR, Delhi NCR.
Delhi NCR. Okay, okay, got it. So you said that you're connecting from from Haryana. So Haryana is part of Delhi NCR, is it?
Yes, yes. I am
Oh,
here only 10 kilometers away from Delhi border.
got it, got it. Okay, okay, fine, fine. All right. Great. What do you do, Pramila?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach
Nice.
in government school in Delhi.
Okay. What do you teach?
English.
Okay. I thought so, but I thought I'd just confirm it with you before I made a guess. So yeah. Okay, great. How long have you been doing this?
In teaching profession.
Yes.
For the last 20 years, I'm in this sector, education sector. So I'm
Oh, okay.
teaching for the last 20 years. And still,
Have you what? Yes. Go ahead.
I said, still I'm in the same profession.
Your profession. I was going to ask you, have you always been a government employee or have you ever worked in the private sector?
I have worked for 2.5 years in private school in the private sector. And for the last 18 or 19 years, I have been in this government sector.
Oh, I see. Got it. Fine. So, did you finish your bachelor's of education with a specialty in English and you took anything else? You took any further
I
qualifications?
have completed my master's in English. I have completed B.Ed, like Bachelor of Education, and I have completed my master's in education also.
Oh, nice. Okay, great. There is a lot of, this is just out of curiosity, okay, because I don't have a B.Ed. I'm an engineer by profession, and then I took a separate certification that made me an English teacher. But I'm curious about something. Did you ever have to learn the classics, Shakespeare and,
Oh,
uh,
yes. It was a
yeah,
subject, like it was a part of our English honors. I have done my bachelor's degree in English honors, then
oh, right.
master's also in English. So
Okay,
I have gone through these all classic writers, and then modern writers, Victorian writers, every
okay.
sort of writers.
Do you think that classics, the reason I asked this was because there was a recent discussion on LinkedIn. You know LinkedIn, no? The professional
Mhm.
platform LinkedIn. So there was a recent discussion on LinkedIn. A fellow tutor was mentioning about the classics and the fact that she hates classics and it should be removed from the curriculum. And
No.
I wanted to know, okay, so I'd love to know your thoughts on it because personally, I mean, I know, of course, everyone knows Romeo and Juliet and Pride and Prejudice and all of that, but yeah, so I really wanted to know your take on this.
I love British writers of all era.
Great.
And I am fond of reading about others European writers too. But basically, I'm most interested in reading British writers, and of
Okay,
course of ancient writers. If you talk about this Victorian period, golden era that we call. If
okay,
I talk about new modern writers who write science fictions or something out of the box that I'm not able to comprehend easily.
got it.
So
Okay,
I
so
love classics.
so you love the classics, so that is your favorite genre, is what I am understanding in that
Yes,
case.
yes, 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 yes.
I have been a fan of Jane Austen, to be fair.
Oh, yes,
Uh,
yes.
I mean, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility. To tell you the truth, I haven't read those books. It was the movies, the character Darcy that was played by Colin Firth,
Aishwarya, Aishwarya.
Aishwarya. Yeah. No, but that movie was not great, to be honest. To tell you the truth, the actual Sense and Sensibility, the Pride and Prejudice movie that I loved was the original British movie where Colin Firth, the British actor Colin Firth, he's won an Academy Award for the Best Actor for The King, and yeah, top notch actor. So he had played a part in the original movie, and I absolutely loved it. It was that movie that prompted me to read the book itself, and I am a book addict. I love books.
Oh, if you are book addict, then movie is nothing in front of novel.
Personally, 10% agree.
Yes,
And I don't do that normally, Promula. That is not my policy. I always read a book and then I never watch the movie because I have never
yes.
had a movie. I'm yet to see a movie apart from Pride and Prejudice that has done justice to the novel. Having said that, Pride and Prejudice was something different. That was a beautiful movie. The way the characters were fleshed out and everything, it was really nice. That's the reason as to why I said that. The books I read, I don't read science fiction. Like you, I find it very difficult to comprehend science fiction. I love thrillers though. So if you do get a chance and if you're interested, maybe I could tempt you to read. I'll type it out in the chat box for you. The Silent Patient
Okay.
is you read that and then you're hooked to psychological thrillers for life.
Oh,
That's The Silent Patient is just one hell of a book. Another one of my all-time favorites is The Girl on the Train. The Girl on the Train, and then you must read The Woman at the Window. You must read it. That's by A.J. Finn. These are brilliant, brilliant books. Yeah, so they're not horrors. I just want to make
okay.
it clear. There's no horror and there's no science fiction and all of that. These are pure thrillers, just pure, unadulterated thrillers,
Okay.
and brilliant, brilliant. The classic. So it was a very surprising and it was a very in your face comment that this tutor had made on, and I don't know why she did it. To tell you the truth, I've often wondered how people can sit and read pages and pages of these of Shakespeare's classics. To tell the truth be told, because the language is really strong. Yeah, the language is really advanced, isn't it? And you still like it.
Yes.
Yes.
Though I
Okay.
don't get time to get it again and read it again due to my busy schedule. I have
Right.
things in a row. Like I have to do my work, attend my workplace, and juggle. I'm juggling about in my house also, doing my
Uh-huh.
household chores, maintaining kids and house together.
Right. It's the life of a woman. No? It's the untold, it's the never-ending story of a woman, I suppose. Okay, so Pramila, let's do a small activity. I want you to tell me three statements about yourself. Okay? Tell me three statements about yourself. Yes, you. But this is where it gets tricky. Two of those statements should be the truth. They should be the
Oh,
absolute truth. And one is going to be a lie. Okay? One's going to be false, one's going to be a lie. And I am going to find out, or I have to find out, where it is that you're fibbing or where it is that you're lying. So whenever you're ready, you can start. Let me just get a sip of water for a second.
okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I feel apprehensive in dealing with people or speaking at the stage.
I feel apprehensive in dealing with people or speaking at the stage. One second, or the
On
stage.
the
I'm just
stage, also, we can say.
thinking on. Is that what you want to say? I'm going to type it out the way you are telling me. So
Okay.
I got the spelling wrong of stage. I apologize. Okay. So I feel
Okay.
apprehensive in dealing with people or speaking on the stage is what you said. Great. Next.
I am very basic by nature.
Okay. The last one.
I I have love for exceptional things.
I have love for exceptional things. Great. So these are the three sentences that you want to go ahead with, the three statements. I feel apprehensive in dealing with people or speaking on the stage. I'm very basic by nature and I have love for exceptional things. So before we go into these three statements that you gave me, let me just give you an overall feedback of the way you've spoken so far. You're a very
Okay.
confident speaker. So I find that first sentence very difficult to digest, but we'll get to that in a second. You're a very confident speaker. You've got a very positive vibe about you, which is really nice. So it feels good. It feels good to actually speak to you. To tell you the truth, that's the actual truth. Couple of very minute errors I did notice was when you started off the conversation. You said I am basically from so and so. Basically, I'm from so and so place, but now I'm connecting you. I am connecting you. Now this is a very common mistake.
Okay.
Sorry, I am connecting you from so and so place is what you said. First of all, the usage of the word basically is a filler word. So
Hmm.
basically, actually, like as you're aware. Now, even if you are using basically not as a filler in this context, it automatically gets that notion. You understand what I'm saying? So the right way to have said this would have been originally, I
Okay.
am from so and so place, but I currently reside in so and so place. where I work. Now, this where I work, not necessary, but it's an extra piece of relevant information. Clearly, you're settled there with your family and everything. You did mention children, so it's not necessary to mention it, but it's just an extra piece of information. Now,
Okay, okay.
you mentioned about this connecting you from. Connect is something that is used, yeah. If you were to ask me what is wrong with saying connecting you, first of all, the grammar, it should have been connecting with you. If you
Okay.
were to connect, you should have used the preposition with. Number one. The second thing is we're having a conversation, and I personally don't like to use the word connect when we're having a conversation. You're right. This is technology. We're speaking to each other remotely, but you sort of depersonalized the conversation. Even if it's a professional conversation, you suddenly removed the personal element out of it by using the word connect, which I think was unnecessary. So, in my personal view, I believe that this is the right way for you to professionally express yourself about where you are. When
So,
you
can
use the
you
word,
give me exact introduction that I should tell others about me? A
if
perfect,
you,
like you. I'm very much happy that you have given me some such a true, I would say, feedback that
yeah,
it should be improved, and I should implement that in my conversation. So,
right.
please give me this 3, 4 sentences introduction for me.
Okay. So, a very simple question that someone would ask you is, where are you from? So, I've already answered that question for you. The words I use primarily here are originally, currently, and reside. Three basic, three very ordinary words, but once added in the right positions, add that professionally interesting touch to your conversation, which is what you're looking for. For a self introduction, Pramila, before we get into the self introduction, I want to just go through the statements that you gave me as well, because that is the main thing. Before I complete that, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
But one more thing I wanted to say is about the juggling. You mentioned that I've got a lot of things to do. You again, this was probably a slip of the tongue. You said juggling about the housework or the
Oh,
household.
yes.
Do you realize the mistake you made? The word about
With.
unnecessary. There is
Juggling is always, yes,
just a standalone word. Juggling is a verb. Juggle is a verb. You already
verb.
know this. But this juggle is a standalone verb. It does not require anybody's assistance or support
Ye-
to stand.
Yes.
So I am juggling multiple responsibilities. Rather than sitting and naming the responsibilities as women, I think we all know what the responsibilities are. So I am juggling multiple responsibilities is
Mhm.
the perfect way to actually say it. You've summarized everything in one sentence. That is the first thing. That is another thing that I wanted to say. So it was a very minor but very crucial error. Just
Crucial.
that one
Yes,
word.
yes.
Yeah, just that one word sort of completely threw that structure of the sentence. That's the reason as to why I brought that. Now, let's get to your sentences.
Okay.
The sentences you gave me. The first sentence: I feel apprehensive in dealing with people or speaking on the stage. Very good. You
Hmm.
corrected yourself. It was not at the stage; it's on the stage. I love the usage of the word apprehensive. Now,
Okay.
however, the sentence, there are a lot of words you've used in this sentence, Pramila. But despite using all these words, I still feel the sentence is very vague. Just like
Oh,
your other, yeah. And I'll quickly tell you the reason for that. Just like your other two sentences were too basic and does not even relate to the personality of the individual I was having a conversation with. Because you're a very open, you're a very friendly person, and suddenly the sentences you gave, you said I'm very basic by nature, and I have love for exceptional things. Extremely unclear, extremely vague. This is my professional feedback. The first sentence you could have just said, I am apprehensive about speaking in public.
okay.
I am apprehensive about speaking in public. When you say that you are apprehensive about dealing with people, it brings in a negative connotation to it. Because I think you were talking about yourself as an introvert. There is nothing wrong with being an introvert. Yeah.
But you
Because
said tell me two true things and one false. That is why I uttered that sentence.
no, I was supposed to guess what was the truth and what was the fib. You mixed two things together in one sentence. And in the process, you confused your audience, who is me. And I don't want to be confused. The audience does not want to be confused. You get it? You could have split it up into two different sentences. You could have said that I am an introvert. That is, I mean, I'm guessing that's what you wanted to say. Whether it is true or false, we'll get to that in a second. I am an introvert could have been one sentence, plain and simple. The other thing is, I am apprehensive. I've already mentioned that sentence on top. I am apprehensive about speaking in public. Whatever I'm typing, make sure you're taking down notes. I think you're taking down notes already, or take
Yes,
a
yes.
screenshot of it because the chat will not be available. The recording is available, don't worry. The chat won't be available. That's why I said. Okay. So I am apprehensive about speaking in public. It was an excellent usage of vocabulary. Unfortunately, you used so many words and the word apprehensive just got lost in translation. And that's what I didn't like
Okay.
about it. So you could have simply said that. Okay. So I'm apprehensive about speaking in public, or I freeze when asked to speak in front of an audience. If you want to make it more creative, I freeze when asked to speak, not speak, when asked to speak in front of an audience. That's also another thing. Or in front of a
Yes.
crowd. You can replace audience with crowd. That's also okay. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the article changes from and to.
Mm-hmm.
Clear so far? Any doubts so far?
Yes.
Okay. The next sentence I wanted to say is clear. No, anything you got
Yes,
stuck
yes,
there
yes.
for a second.
Yes.
Second one is I am very basic by nature. See, Pramila, when you speak to someone, when someone asks you a question and when you're speaking to them, it is always necessary that you give the relevant information when speaking to a person. It is not the audience's responsibility to decode what you are saying. It's not the audience's job. It's your job. You're the speaker. So it is your job to make your audience. One person is enough to be an audience. In this case, I'm your audience. It is your job as a speaker to make the audience understand what you're trying to say in the first shot or the first attempt. Sometimes, of course, because different people have different hearing abilities, understanding ability, we will ask, sorry, do you mind repeating yourself? But that is a very rare case. Apart from that, you should be able to easily make your audience understand in the first attempt what it is that you're trying to deliver. When you
Okay.
say I am very basic by nature, what are you saying is basic? Are you saying your food habits are basic? Are you saying your clothing is basic? Are you saying your personality is basic? And if you're saying that your personality is basic, again, you're giving a very negative connotation about yourself. So you are making yourself look like a negative person from the get go. The first sentence also was negative. And you are not a negative person. So why do you want to give that sort of an impression to another person? Even if you are negative, why would you possibly want to do that? So I don't know what you're trying to say here. So you need to explain yourself. What are you trying to say when
Um,
you say you're basic?
okay, let me explain. Very basic here means simple. Simple by nature. I'm not cunning or shrewd.
Okay. Then you should have mentioned that. See, now you use such excellent words. You use the word cunning. You use the word shrewd. You have very simple needs. Why don't you say any of these things? And none of those things match the sentence, by the way. So what you have said is, I am a woman of simple tastes.
Simple taste. I have different taste. I love exotic things. By taste,
Okay.
I'm very
Then
selective.
means
Way you
not
are
just
typing,
taste. There's there in the chat box. It's not coming.
this sentence is not there.
Okay, I'll type something else. Can you see it now?
No.
Okay, I'll quickly. Both of us can quickly log off and rejoin the session. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay. Oh no 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 no. Don't do that
Okay.
because now the feedback time has
Time
started.
is,
Now, yeah,
yes,
if I
yes.
log off, then I won't be able to say. Okay, when I'm saying it, anyways, it's there in the recording, and I will repeat myself once again. I am a woman of simple taste. Tastes. Now, when I say taste, that does not mean food or drink. Taste is not just about food or drink. Clothes, your makeup, the accessories you use, that all counts for taste. You understand? Taste is not about eating or drinking alone. I am a woman of simple taste means I'm a very simple person. I'm very happy with I don't like to have fancy saris or I don't like to have loud colors. I'm very happy with very basic needs. I don't need to have a whole wardrobe of shoes or things like that. I'm happy with what I have. I am a girl of simple means. So I'm a woman of simple taste. That is one way of saying it. Now, when you say that you are not cunning or shrewd, that is very different from this. So what you can say is, believe, I believe in being straightforward, or I do not like shrewd people, or I am not a shrewd personality. Because we are not talking about whether you like shrewd people, we are talking about yourself. So I am not a shrewd personality. I am not a shrewd personality. Or you can say like this also, I am a straight talker. I'm typing all of these things. I'm sad that you can't see it, but that's okay. I'm saying it so it will be there in the recording. I am a straight talker. Now, if I say that I am a straight talker, that means that I'm a very straightforward person. It's another way of saying that I am a straightforward person, that I am a straight talker. So you see, I had to ask you to clarify what that sentence meant, and that should not happen. So you have to keep that in mind in future. Always make sure that that one sentence that you give any person, it is clear to the other person what you are trying to say in one attempt itself. That is your job, not the audience's job. Now, the last, any doubts so far, Pramila? Is it okay so far?
Yes, yes.
Now, the last sentence again that you said was very vague. I have love for exceptional things. Again, can you explain what you were trying to say here?
I don't prefer what I would say. I don't prefer common things. If I need to select something, I would go for higher. Like if I'm selecting dresses, I won't
Okay.
go with average money or the things a common man or average person like. I will go for higher things,
Okay. So in that
different
case, it's
likes.
not exceptional things, it's expensive things.
Not
I
expensive. I'm not talking about money exactly.
okay.
I
Okay, so you
don't
like
prefer,
you like to
yes,
stand out.
stand out, different things. Yes.
Okay. So I like to stand out from the crowd. Simple. See, you have to explain yourself so much to me, and this has no match or no bearing. Crowd spelling is wrong, sorry. I like to stand out from the crowd. Now, what is the meaning of that? That means you like to be different. You like to be
Yes.
unique. Correct?
Yes.
That is what I understood from that sentence. Do you see where you made the mistake? I wouldn't say it's a mistake per se, but it's the way you communicate it. It was not clear. I had to ask you for a clarification. And that is not the audience's job. The audience does not, I'm not, when I say audience, it's not just me. Nobody likes to ask for a clarification. Ideally, people are very lazy. So they like to understand in the first attempt. It's the speaker's job to make sure that we understand and not ask unnecessary questions. So, in simple words, to make a long story short, the sentences should have read as I am apprehensive. Let's see where I am. I am apprehensive about speaking in public. I am an introvert. I freeze when asked to speak in front of an audience. I am a woman of simple tastes. I am not a shrewd personality. I am a straight talker. And I like to stand out from the crowd.
What
Okay,
you said, I am a
straight talker. Straight.
straight
Straight.
talker. Okay.
Straight talker.
Straightforward or straight talker.
Yeah. Instead of straightforward, you can say a straight talker.
Okay.
Okay, so now let me find out which is the lie or which is the fib. I'm thinking the first one, that is you are apprehensive, even though I find it hard to believe. You said that you are apprehensive about speaking in public. Do you think that is that the one? No, you are not apprehensive.
No, I love to hold stage. I'm very much easy to go with other people to deal
Great.
with
So
or
then I
communicate.
was correct. That is, I feel apprehensive. So that was the lie because it's very difficult for me to imagine. You seem like a very confident person, so I found it very difficult. So great, I get right.
Good, good.
That brings us to the end of our session. I know I was not able to tell you about the self introduction thing. If
No,
we
you
have
need
another,
to tell. You need to tell. Otherwise, I will not wrap the session.
have 3 more minutes. So let me see if I can be able to squeeze it in. Someone asked you to tell me a little bit about yourself. First of all, don't say mundane things like your name. Everyone knows your name. So forget about the name, okay? So what you could say is, well, I'm a school teacher, or I have been a teacher for over 20 years. I started off in the private sector, but slowly climbed up the ladders and now work full time in the government sector. I am an English teacher. I love the classics. And I have both my graduation, I have done both my undergraduation as well as post graduation in English, in the English language. Now, this would be a typical interview style introduction. However, when you're
Mm-hmm.
meeting someone at an event or a party, let's say that we are two strangers and we connect. And I'd be like, oh, Pramila, you seem like an interesting person. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? We're meeting at a party. So you would say that, well, to be honest with you, I'm just a very simple woman with very simple tastes. I like to stand out from the crowd, even though I'm just a humble English teacher. My love for the classics is what got me into this profession. And even though, and then you can say that I've been working for over 20 years in the government sector. Then you can talk about your likes and dislikes. Now, we didn't get into those details as in what your hobbies and what your tastes are, but you can talk about your likes and dislikes. And then you can end off by saying,